Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Vessel and Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Kim Charlson. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking all about how we can begin to open to love through some channeled guidance that Monty provides for us today. Before we get into today's episode, though, I wanted to first share two updates with you. First, if you look in the show notes now for every episode, you will see a convenient little link that says text Monty and Kim. We now have a beautiful text messaging service. So you can send us your responses of how the episode maybe is resonating with you, any questions that you would like to ask Monty for future episodes, or just to share your own personal experiences of how the channeled material is really helping you. That feedback helps Monty and I not only know how our podcast is impacting you, but also what kind of content you want to see. So send us a text message. We'd be delighted to hear from you. And we'll be sharing those messages that we receive in future episodes. The other update is this podcast is coming out just days after we have gone into an eclipse portal. So if you don't know very much about astrology, an eclipse portal is a time in between two eclipses. So we had a lunar eclipse on Sunday, and we'll have a solar eclipse on the 22nd, I believe, in a bit here. And as we're moving through this eclipse portal, it's typically seen in astrology as a moment of great change, where lots of transformations can be happening, where we can be having outward challenges or inward challenges that come up that we're facing that ask us to really step into alignment. So as you're going through this, Monty has asked me to ask you to reflect on the ways that you are abdicating your own energy, is the words that he has asked me to use. Of the times when you are taking the external energies and allowing those to be who you are. And in today's episode, as we talk about love, that will make a little bit more sense. But for this specific eclipse portal and where we are in the astrological calendar and where this is falling, he wanted to pass along that information of just asking yourself, where am I abdicating my alignment with my soul? Where am I not being in my own energy? I also wanted to share another review that we got from Apple. Herb1992 writes, I've listened to lots of other spiritual podcasts, and this is the best channeling podcast. Monty's insights are great, and it's really fun hearing Kim's perspective as a channel. So thank you so much, Herb1992, for that review. I really appreciate it. I know Monty does too, for the feedback that you're giving us. And the one thing I will say is I've been reflecting a lot more about this podcast lately. We're at 6 months now that we've done this podcast. For 6 months, we've been publishing it since February. And it's been a really interesting journey of allowing myself not only to surrender what the content's going to be, of allowing Monty to figure out what our episodes are going to be and what we're going to be talking about, but then also using it as an opportunity to reflect on my own journey, because everything that you're hearing channeled, I receive it around the same time you guys do. There's not that much of a, time for me to fully integrate. So I am right here with you in the same way as you're receiving this channeled information. I'm also receiving it. And some of it is stuff I've been working with Monty on, but some of it is also new information that I've never heard before that makes me kind of go, oh, wow, this is different. This is a different way of looking at things and is so helpful. So I want you to know that we are making this podcast together, you and I, as the people who are receiving the information and bringing this energy into ourselves and learning how to integrate it, that we're not just taking the channeled wisdom and then moving on. Because I found that when I started my spiritual journey and consumed some channeled content, it was really inspirational, but I didn't know what to do with it a lot of the time. And I didn't know how to apply it or how to start behaving in those ways that the channeled information was guiding me towards. And I wasn't yet a channeler myself, so I wasn't really processing the information in the same way that I do now. I really receive it as I'm channeling energetically. And so it is easier for me to integrate because I'm accepting that energy versus listening to it. But I've realized in this process of producing this podcast, there is just so much information here for us. And even if we listen to it multiple times, it is that unfolding, that understanding that we get to. And I am going back through and listening to all of the episodes myself and really uncovering even more understanding even more. So understand that I'm right there with you along in this journey. One of the most influential moments I've had on my spiritual journey was actually while I was folding laundry. And that seems like such a mundane task, but sometimes the mundaneness of human life actually teaches us a lot of lessons of just going through the motions of just the normal actions of our daily lives. And I was going through the process at that point in time where I was really trying to open up to love, which is what Monty talks about in his guidance in today's episode. I've had a lot of difficulty receiving love in my life because it was always qualified. Did you behave correctly? Were you a good person? Are you deserving of love? Even though I was raised in a very loving family, in a very loving church environment that didn't come with a lot of that religious baggage that so many of us experience, especially when it comes to divine love, I still have a hard time accepting love for myself. And in fact, it's something that Monty constantly asks me to work on and something that I've been working on myself. But in this moment, it was right when I was starting to work on it. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to try to open up to love, however it wants to come through. And I'm going to do that while I'm folding laundry. So I'm folding laundry, just allowing myself to be in this moment of, okay, I'm going to accept love as I'm doing this very mundane, repetitive task. And I felt just this overwhelming bliss and this overwhelming joy at being in this place at this time and feeling just this absolute union with the universe in a way I had really never felt before. And it was this really pivotal moment for me in my spiritual journey that has shown me that that love is always accessible for me. Even if I still have trouble opening to it and accepting it now, because that's definitely part of my journey, I still had that moment that I'm constantly saying, okay, if you experience that once, you can experience it again. You can get back to that moment of that divine love, that bliss, that union with the universe that you felt. In today's guidance from Monty, he is asking us to reframe our perspective on opening to love, especially divine love. And I know that for many people, this is a very difficult, sticky issue because of a lot of the conditioning that we have, not only from our families and the world at large telling us you need to earn, living in the idea of a capitalistic meritocracy, but also the religious aspects that often come with the idea of being deserving of love that many of us, especially in the United States, have been raised under. And it affects us, even though I was raised in a very hippy-dippy, lovey church, it can be so difficult even still. And for those of us that did not have that God loves you no matter what, that it came with qualifiers, it can be very difficult for us to accept that love is available for us no matter what, no matter who we are, what we're doing, how we're showing up in the world. So Monty offers a different perspective on this, as well as an explanation of kind of the concept behind the universe as a whole. Some people see it as a very loving place, but then Monty's talked about it being neutral. So I'll let him take it from here and share the guidance that he has for us, and then we can reflect on it at the end. Love is the most abundant energy within the universe. The universe is a neutral place, as we have discussed before in previous episodes, but the energy of love is the most abundant, the most prevalent energy within the universe because all of us, whether we are in physical or non-physical, are creating love within ourselves and projecting that love outward in different moments throughout the day, but also in most of our relationships and many of our interactions. And so as such, we are creating that love within ourselves and thus creating love within the universe. Now, conversely, you would wonder if, by the same token, hate is one of the most abundant energies within the universe. However, when you ask yourself, how often you create love, even in its smallest forms, versus when you create hate, it is often that you are creating love at a much more consistent pace and frequency than you are creating the energy of hate. Rather, you are creating other energies, such as fear and frustration, more often than you are creating the energy of hate. And this is often true for those that you see are very hateful beings, very difficult beings to be around. These individuals often are also some of the most loving individuals in their own right, that they create love within themselves for the things that they see as desirable. Now, with human conditioning and us in spirit in many ways, there is a certain allowance of when we will give love and when we will not. Of that, we will only give love when we see someone is behaving in such a way that is desirable to us, a way that we wish to engage with. And when we encounter undesirable energies or those that are exhibiting undesirable behaviors that are an example of those undesirable energies, we will stop giving our love. And this is one of the callings of being a spirit guide, is that we are asked to love our human counterparts unconditionally, regardless of whether they are engaging in desirable or undesirable energies. However, within your own life, you have come into a state of belief that love is conditional because of the way that you yourself give love. Think of relationships in your life. When someone has crossed your boundaries too many times, when someone has done things that you find deeply undesirable time and time and time again, eventually the love you have for that individual fades and you no longer have love towards that individual. And this can be small instances, or it can be very difficult and challenging and disruptive relationships that are falling apart because of what others are doing. And so you have learned throughout life that not only is your love to others conditional, but others' love to you is also conditional. And so this has instilled in you a belief that love as an energy is conditional. However, we would offer that this is something that you have learned, that is a way of being that is out of alignment with your soul. Because your soul has access to the most abundant energies in the universe. And as we have said, love is the most abundant energy in the universe. It is the one that is created the most by all of creation, not just humans, but all of creation, has deep love and affection for many different things. And when you tune into your soul, you open up to receiving the energy of love that exists within the universe, whether or not that love is directed at you by someone else. Because love is an abundant energy within the universe, when you get into the energy of your soul, and as part of that, you feel the love unconditionally that your soul has for you, this opens you up to enjoying the love that is abundant in all of the universe from all different sources. Now, this is something that we can discuss many times and explain over and over. But the most important thing for you to realize is that until you experience this abundance of love, you will have difficulties really quite realizing the profound nature of the abundance of love that is available for you. Because when you come into the wholeness of your soul, and those moments of when you are most in alignment with who you are and who you are in your essence of who you are being in that moment, as well as your eternalness, you open up to that love. Through that love from your soul to you, that love receptivity grows. And because love is an energy that is the most abundant in the universe, you begin to receive that energy. And within you, you have those blissful, joyful moments of union. And for many, they view it as that union with the divine, that abundant, blissful state. But again, we would remind you that the universe in its whole is neutral. But it is that you are opening to the energies that you are opening to that love in their abundance and attracting them to you, that those energies exist in separation. Now, this is the key to understand, that for you to exist in wholeness with the universe means you do not exist in separation. The you exists no longer. But while you are in separation, while you are in physical form, and while you are ensouled, because your soul is separate from the universe, you can experience the energy of love, that separate energy from the neutrality of all that is. This is a complicated concept because when humans unite with their soul and with the higher energies of who they are, they feel that divine connection and often mistake that divine connection for the energy that is in separation. However, because you exist in separation, you can benefit from the love that is all around you at every moment by coming into that union with your soul. But it first begins by allowing yourself to come into that experiential understanding that your soul loves you unconditionally. To change that belief that you have that you must be deserving of love, that you must earn love by being in desirable energies. Now, what this also means is that your soul loves you unconditionally in the moments when you are out of alignment with your soul. When you are not experiencing the energy of your soul loves you ever still. When you are being the complete opposite of what your soul would desire you to do in any moment, your soul still loves you unconditionally. It is important for you to learn to open to receive that love. And it can be quite difficult for some people, especially if they have come to learn that love is conditional. But to change this belief within yourself requires that you open to that love. It is easiest to open to that love when you are in alignment with your soul. But if you are not able to be in consistent alignment with your soul, you may feel as though that love is inaccessible to you. So what we would offer is instead this practice that you can begin to use to allow yourself to come into that wholeness of accepting love, even if you are unable to access the essence of your soul. Allowing yourself to come to a place of rest, to allow yourself to let go of everything external in that moment, and just begin to focus on the space right above your heart, right in the center of your chest, in the middle of your body. This is your soul seat, an area energetically where your soul is most tied to and easiest for you to tap into. Again, you are the entirety of your soul at any given time in your physical manifestation as the extension of your soul. But this place in particular allows you to move away from the conditioning that you have learned, from the beliefs that you hold. Tuning into this space and just allowing yourself to breathe into this space and allow this energy to expand and relax into this space, asking for love to become present. Now, that is the simplest practice, but it can be quite difficult when you are beginning. It can feel uncomfortable or like nothing is happening. But be patient, allow, and be open. Intend to open to the love that is available. Intend to open to love with no strings attached, no expectations, and understand that your soul loves you for who you are in this moment, however you are being, whatever you are doing, whatever you have done. And just allow yourself to come into that space, to relax there, and to allow yourself to receive. Over time, as you use this practice more and more, you will notice those feelings of bliss or joy or calm or warmth that love often gives us. Allow yourself to focus on those feelings as they occur, to allow yourself to immerse your energy in that love. And as you do this, you will also begin to feel more connected with your soul, because as you are opening to the love of your soul, you are opening up to the essence of your soul. And as you open to the essence of your soul, you begin to open to the love that is abundant in the universe in separation. Now, this is a difficult task for many individuals because love also comes with many shadows of hurt underneath it. And it is important for you to understand that it is okay if these hurts arise as you are opening to love, to allow yourself to gently or sometimes violently feel them, to allow yourself to process those energies through rather than to keep holding on to them, to say that you are releasing and allowing those to move, and then to invite love into those areas of wounding in particular, to fill those areas with the love that they deserve, not that they have earned, but that they deserve merely because they deserve love. Now, to do this practice on a consistent basis, you will find that it gets easier with time. But as different hurts and wounds come up, allow yourself patience and grace. Do not blame yourself for these woundings. Although you were the individual who allowed them to stay, who placed those energies within yourself because you are in control of your energy at all times, you are not the source of that energy. That energy of those woundings is not your own. So allowing those external energies that you have internalized and claimed as your own to dissipate and go away will allow you to open even further to the unconditional love that is available for you. Your spirit team, in their effort of loving you unconditionally, are always there to help you as well. That if something feels difficult or you need support or signs that you are loved, ask for them. Ask for evidence of that love, and we trust that you will receive it. We send you great love in this effort. That is all. The thing I love the most about Monty's guidance on opening to love is that it can be very easy. And he talks about the hard parts of it is the wounding that's underneath. The love supersedes, but that it can bring up those wounds that we feel about having to earn love, having to behave a certain way, not being deserving of love that's available for us. And all of the times when we were shown that that wasn't true. And for me, as I've been working on receiving the love of my soul, it definitely has that block that comes up from time to time of, but what have you done to deserve this love? The more that I allow this love and say, okay, even if I don't believe it 100%, and that there's parts of me in my subconscious or parts of me in my conditioning that say I need to earn love and behave a certain way to be deserving of love, I'm going to set those parts aside for right now. And I'm going to believe that I am intrinsically worthy of love in this moment and allow myself to receive. Those parts bubble up sometimes. Those moments where I was not loved on or celebrated, though they come up, and they come up for a reason. They come up because as we are allowing ourselves to be loved, we are letting go of the moments where we didn't feel loved, letting go of those moments when we wanted to receive and we were open to receiving, but instead received something other than love. Because when love is asked to be conditional, it's not the kind of love that Monty's talking about. But the process itself is quite simple. It's difficult for us to do sometimes, but it's not a complicated, multi-part process that asks us to do a lot. We don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops to allow ourselves to open to receiving love. And I think that's a key part for us to recognize is if we feel like we have to do all of these different things to get to the point where we can open to love, other than just letting go and allowing, that is also reinforcing in a certain way the ideas that we have to do to deserve love. So I wanted to highlight that because it recognizes in myself the ways that I feel I have to be constantly doing and giving and being of service. And that's the idea of, okay, I have to have all these complicated processes to open to love. Whereas it's very simple of just connecting with that seat of your soul that's in your energy and just setting that intention of, I'm going to open to that love. And it's all that's actually required. And that when those difficult emotions and wounds come up, of allowing yourself to feel them and process them and work through them so that way they're not blocking the way for love to be received. And while that's difficult in practice, it's a very simple process. And I found that that's often the case with most energy work, that we have a tendency to overcomplicate it rather than saying it can be really easy. So if you're feeling, very difficult emotions that are coming up as you've been listening to this episode, recognize that in yourself, there's these wounds that you have that need to be processed through. And that by allowing yourself to open to love, even if you don't fully believe it, even if there's those parts of you that say, no, I have to earn it, just to allow those to set those to the side for a minute and allow yourself to receive can really allow you to process through those wounds, to feel the love even while you feel the hurt and the pain that you have. So I hope this episode helps you on your journey. And it's definitely something I'm constantly working through. So now I'm right there beside you every step of the way. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We will see you in the next one.